It's a very interesting phenomenon inside the world of disability is that I think most of us, certainly I did, defined our core competency as advocacy. And I think we've been really, really good at it, certainly reasonably good. We have seen advancements that we couldn't have imagined 40 or 50 years ago. The closure of institutions, the reduction in segregated classrooms and the like, all of those are, a tribute to good, solid, old-fashioned advocacy. But I left the disability world for about 10 years and began to explore the world of social innovation. And you know what? I came away from that world realizing that in our world, in the disability world, we were advocates only to ensure that what we invented, what we created, what we innovated got into the water supply. And so even before advocacy came a fundamental competency, a core competency that I would call ingenuity or innovation or creativity. And so advocacy is just one of the ways of making that happen. So then I went back into the social innovation world. So I found myself going back and forth between the disability world and the social innovation world. Think about something like Nothing About Us Without Us. That's a real tough challenge in the social innovation world that they're still grappling with. That's almost been a core principle in the disability world. So that's an offering from, if you will, our world to the larger world. Another offering is the concept of individualized funding or unbundling of the funding for programs and services and giving them to individuals so that they can determine their lives. Well, that shows a healthy disrespect for programs and services, for the technology or methodology of supporting people and making sure that the individual is in the driver's seat. And that's, again, a big struggle in the social innovation world. In fact, what I see happening in the social innovation world is they are developing programs for people who are experiencing poverty and abuse and homelessness, and they are doing it not only in a way that doesn't involve the individual, but they're doing it in a way that actually reinforces the lack of self-determination and autonomy and participation in the decision making. So those are two big items that I think the broader social innovation world can learn from our world. Another one would be the concept of giftedness. So you run into a real challenge as a social innovator in that you think somehow, because you've studied it, that you actually are capable of solving somebody else's problem. And then unbeknownst to you, and you don't mean to, but then you begin to diminish what that individual thinks of their circumstance, and you begin to, if you carry on, if you follow what I'm saying, is you start to overcompensate for your capacity to solve their problem. If you believe in the concept of giftedness or in people's adaptive problem-solving capacity, then you understand that your role as an outsider is to strengthen their resilience, not to diminish it by creating another program that serves them. So I think the disability world has a profound and fundamental understanding of resilience, of the adaptive problem solving of individuals who may or may not be vulnerable. In fact, this is not well known, but the Canadian definition of social innovation suggests that social innovation is the link between vulnerability and resilience. It's the only definition in the world, and Canada is the only place in the world that took learning from the disability world and made them more generally available to the broader social innovation world.